Actually, we didn't found any danger in all our trips. So we have been traveling in total like 4 years and a half. America, Europe, part of Asia, and part of Africa. The most danger we found, it was to find a bear. So imagine a grizzly bear near to your campsite, and that's crazy. My name is Luisa.
And I'm Jose.
We are travelers, so we started to live traveling 3 years ago, and but everything started like more than 5 years ago, traveling the American continent. And we are engineers, so I'm a chemical engineer and Jose is agricultural engineer, but we decided to stop with our jobs and travel.
It was October, November 2023, so 7 months ago.
In Africa so far 10, but before we traveled America, that was 15 countries, and then we traveled in Europe and Asia, and that was 14 countries. Morocco, Mauritania, Senegal, Gambia,
Guinea-Bissau,
Guinea-Conakry, Sierra Leone, Liberia,
Ivory Coast,
and Ghana. We are like kind of explorers, and we really like to know the world, to know different people, different cultures. Sometimes we are very close in our, comfort area, and we decided to go with this car, traveling, sleeping in a tent up there, and just meeting people and understand better the world that sometimes we have like wrong ideas about it. We always like to know, to meet the local communities and always understand, because the purpose also of our trip is to understand how live people in the countries where we go. So that's why sometimes we go to attractions in the countries, but sometimes we just spend time in, little villages or little, cities, meeting people and trying to understand what they do, how is their way of living, and so on. And sometimes if there is a way that we can help them in any way, we also do that, and we spend more time. Being in Senegal, for instance, we met a guy from a community in a small village, and they needed, to develop agricultural project. As Jose is agricultural engineer, we try to understand how was the project, and then what we did is made a report of all the project, all the needs, expenses, etc., and send it to ONGs that maybe can help with capital to develop that project. We also did kind of that in Bolivia, in America, in South America. And anytime we can do kind of help, we do it that way.
Well, we like also a lot to go to remote places. And I remember in Mauritania, when we got driving in the middle of the desert, and it was nobody there.
Yeah, it's a very
we like
unique
a lot
experience.
To meet people, but it's also nice when there is nobody around.
Yeah, discover like very remote places.
Yes.
We like very much that, and we experienced that in Mauritania. But also, just driving, we end up in villages, for instance, where there were like big celebrations, and we were invited by, very small communities to participate with them in, the initiation of the young people. We saw it in Gambia, and we saw it in Senegal. It was something that we just found by casualty, and we really like, to experience that just by chance. I think here in Ghana we enjoy a lot the people. People are very friendly and always very helpful because we had some problems with our vehicle, so pretty big troubles because we had our battery on fire, and immediately we had people helping us, and also a few days ago we had some people helping us because also the battery didn't work well. So you know, when you visit a country and people is like friendly and helpful, for us that is very important, even more than what you are going to see. So we really like here that there are so many ethnias here in Ghana, and every ethnia has their different culture and the different, you know, like religion and beliefs and kings, chiefs, and we really like that to see, to experience, you know, something so different than we have in Europe. And also talking about culture, you can find, you know, like food, different food that you are experiencing here in Ghana, and we really like that. And yeah, very also very open people. So we think is something very important, as it's a country that I think is opening for tourism, and we think it's a country we really recommend.
We visit a little bit, well, the north, Mole National Park, also the Ipoh Sanctuary, also in the north, in the Volta River, but in the, that was the Black Volta, I think.
We visited Goa as well.
Goa, exactly. Also Cape Coast, but still a lot of things. Now the Volta region, but still a lot of things to visit.
So I think we had a really nice experience visiting Mole National Park. We had the visit of an elephant in the morning, waking us up. That was like, oh wow, 2 meters from us, there was an elephant at 5 in the morning. Mirad lo que tenemos aquí esta mañana. So it was a great experience being Europeans. We don't have, you know, this kind of fauna there. So
it's a normal vehicle. Well, it's a Mitsubishi L200. Very normal. I mean, very common here. Well, here in Spain, and so far we have seen many like this in other countries in Africa. Here you find them also in Ghana. And it's a normal pickup, 4x4, strong vehicle, 2.5 liters engine, with the box, and in the box behind we have our stuff to do our life, stuff for cooking, clothes, small water reservoir with a pump to have shower, wash the dishes, and on top of the car is a roof tent, and we sleep in the roof tent. You pop it up when you are in the place to camp, and then while driving is a normal car, as I said. Also, we have this canopy, which is good. Is good for the to have some some shade to avoid the sun, and we have also some solar panels to produce electricity. The major breakdown was the frame of this car, the chassis. The frame was broken. It was in Georgia, the Caucasus, in the mountains, and we were with a camper. The camper, it was a lot heavier than now, so a lot of weight and bad roads. So one day we broke the frame just a little bit, but it was dangerous to drive like this, and it was difficult to find a place to weld it and to repair it. Actually, was not repaired
we
properly.
spent like 3 weeks in a really critical situation.
And it was not easy. But yeah, at the end we repair it properly enough to go back to Spain and remove the camper and to fix it properly. But it was after that we were not feeling comfortable or safe to go to a place, because if the road was bad, then it was going to break again.
That's why we decided to have this kind of new configuration of the car, less weight and yeah, more basic.
Yeah, a lot lighter and
Yeah.
like this.
Is better. We had an incident here in Africa as well, is that we wanted to put diesel in our car, but someone sold petrol instead. So it was in Liberia, so we were climbing a mountain with the car, and suddenly the engine started to, to shake very much. It was a white smoke, and we were like, oh my God, what's going on here? And yeah, then we thought about it, and then we decided to go down. It was terrible because on the way down we broke a suspension of the car as well, and a tire was also broken. So it was everything together
At the same time.
And we arrived in a small village in Liberia, but people were super nice, and having almost nothing to repair our vehicle, they made it and they have it repaired. So they empty all the deposit and all the circuit, and
yeah, change the oil filter, the diesel filter.
yeah,
And still
and
running.
then help the repair also the suspension and the tire, and everything was okay. So we are very happy.
Most part of the budget is the diesel. But if you don't move a lot, then you don't spend a lot.
Exactly. So
Sometimes you have to move because of the bad weather, or well, if it's too hot, if it's rain, if it's a lot of mosquitoes, then you need to move, and then you spend more money. But if you don't move,
yes,
you don't spend.
we always say that we spend less money living this way than living in Europe, that you have to pay a lot of bills like electricity, water, and you spend more money in things that you don't really need. Living this way, you generate your own electricity and you can get water anywhere, and then your expenses are especially food and petrol for the car. So that's it. And food is not expensive here in Africa, and petrol is much cheaper than in Europe, so you spend less money. Many times we sleep in places where there is nobody, where there is no communities, or where there is not much civilization. We like it and we enjoy it very much. So actually we didn't found any danger in all our trips. So we have been traveling in total like 4 years and a half. America, Europe, part of Asia and part of Africa. And danger as danger, not really. I have to say the most danger we found, it was to find a bear
in
Canada, very close to our campsite. So imagine a grizzly bear near to your campsite, and that's crazy. So I think it's the most danger we have found, but no danger, nobody attacked us. It's true that many people always tell us this place is dangerous, this place is not good for sleep, but we always try to follow our feelings, and if we feel like the place is okay, we stay.
Most of the times we travel, we don't go to big cities to overnight, or sometimes we have to go to arrange things, visas and stuff, but most of the times we don't go and we don't spend the night there. So we go in the small villages or in the countryside, and in these places you are welcome. People is nicer and you feel safe.
Yes.
The danger is in the big cities.
Yes.
As happening in Europe, all the big cities in Europe is when you have problems.
More dangerous.
And I guess here is the same. Big cities, we don't like it very much.
A big thank you to my buddies King Yobo, also known as Crazy Maputo, Kelvin, also known as Pabeats, and Brasami for making this interview possible. So guys, do stick around for the subsequent episode.